Just in the United States, about 220 people die every single day from an opiate overdose. And by the time we finish this show, 8 to 10 people are going to die from an opiate overdose. If we get even one person, one viewer with this program that we might be able to help with some of the information that's shared on here, then it's all worth it. Hey everyone, it's your old pal Glenn Victor. We are coming to you live from my hometown, Detroit City, and we are live as well in the Rare Hearted Music Studio, and we're going to be bringing them boys from Rare Hearted on real soon. I have so been looking forward to this edition of the show, literally since we started the program. As you'll hear when we talk with those guys, Shu, who's one of the members of Rare Hearted, has been such an inspiration to me when it comes to music. And, I've been talking to him about having him and the guys on the podcast since we started. And I'm so excited that we have them here live in the studio today. They're literally sitting right next to me, and we're going to bring them on in a second. But first, we want to bring that boy Dean Baker in from Orlando, Florida. He's standing by at the Post Effects Digital Studios, our co-host and producer. What's happening, Dean?
I forgot to unmute myself. I guess you'd call this Studio B.
Yeah, Studio B. Yeah.
Which is the late night studio.
Yeah.
Things are going great. It's a good weekend. How y'all doing today?
Oh, man, we're doing great over here. And yeah, I'm glad you mentioned late night. It is 6 p.m. on the West Coast and, of course, 9 p.m. here on the East Coast. And I'm so grateful to the guys from Rare Hearted for letting me, post up here at their studio. The Dare Me podcast studio back in Sacramento is dark tonight, but I will be back there next Sunday. And man, do we got a special episode next week. We're going live from Detroit tonight, but next week it's going to be back from the D episode because I got so much stuff that I've packed into my vacation here and my trip here. Got so much great footage in downtown Detroit last night. Went to this awesome event that we're going to talk about in just a moment that I got footage of. And there's just no way I could have done all of that tonight and have these boys from, Rare Hearted on. So next week, we're going to do another deep dive into my visit here to Detroit City. But tonight is going to be all about Rare Hearted. But I do want to tease just a little bit, what next week's show is going to have. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. But right now, let's go ahead and bring in them boys from Rare Hearted on the Dare Me podcast. There they are.
Yo. What's up?
Welcome. Well, hey, if you would, I know you guys are kind of passing the mic back and forth. Go ahead and introduce yourself for all our viewers and listeners, if you would.
My name is Kyle from Rare Hearted. I am an artist, engineer, and producer. Been in the group since the start of it.
Kyle, my man.
My name is Bang in Rare Hearted. I'm also an artist, producer, and engineer.
And hey, Bang, I got to say this before you pass the mic down. Congratulations to you. Just announced today that you are officially an engineer, EAR. Tell us about that if you would, bro.
Yeah, so it's a platform put together by Derek Ali, which is like, if you know music, you know who Derek Ali is. Like, he mixes all the big artists.
Yeah.
That was Kendrick Lamar's main engineer for like his whole career. So I'm just very honored to like be a part of that platform. It's a great opportunity for me and all the guys too as well. So
well, and that ain't an opportunity that's just granted to anybody. So congratulations to you. And now we got our other boy in the group.
Yo, my name is Ramo, also a member of Rare Hearted, obviously. Artist, producer, songwriter, passionate man.
Yes, you are, Ramo. And hey, y'all, if one of y'all would, we also have another member, but he had a previous commitment, couldn't be with us tonight. You got to give your other boy a shout out.
Keon, always with us. Always,
Keon, we love
always with us
Keon.
in spirit, no matter where we go.
Yeah, buddy. And you know what? We talked about this a little bit before we started the show tonight, y'all. And we'll talk about this more as we go. But one thing I love about y'all is not only do you have all this great music as a group, but you all do your individual stuff too. And by the way, for all our viewers and listeners, first of all, welcome to the show. I see we already got 7 viewers, and I'll check the chat room in a minute. And people listening, we appreciate y'all supporting the show. We are live on like 4 different Facebook pages, 4 different YouTubes. We're out there on LinkedIn. We're out there on Twitter, which is called X now. We're live on Threads and all the things. So welcome to all our viewers and listeners. We always appreciate y'all that check in live. And of course, hello to everybody who catches the recorded version. Once the show's over, we post it, and then it's there forever. So yeah, we appreciate y'all. But yeah, we want to say hi to Keon too, and hopefully we can have him on the show maybe and have y'all back again down the road. So anyway, thanks for the intro, y'all. And I just want to put y'all on ice for just a minute. We are going to do that deep dive interview with y'all, get into some of your music. We're going to play some clips and talk. Always like to do just a brief introduction to what our show's all about. And then, like I said, I'm going to show a few slides and a short video clip to kind of tease our Back from the D episode that's coming up next week, y'all. So hang tough with me for a moment. And right now, we're going to talk about the Dare Me podcast and what the show's all about, y'all. You know, I'm going to try to do a shorter version of this introduction tonight because I'm really excited about talking with the guys. This show is all about trying to help people who may be caught up in addiction, or people who were and are living clean now and just working on staying clean. And that word or that name, Dare Me, is kind of you got some meanings behind it. First of all, it was kind of like dare me to come out and do this. You know, there's this whole stigma attached to addiction or substance abuse disorder is kind of the phrase we've been trying to use now, because there is that a stigma attached, I think, to that word addiction sometimes. And so, yeah, it was like, dare me to come out and do this, you know. And now that I have, we're 24 episodes in, man, wouldn't have it any other way. I'm so happy to be doing what we're doing with this show. And then once we came up with the name, you know, we kind of took those letters and have these acronyms, these hashtags, drugs, addiction, recovery, enlightenment, music, and exercise. These are all my favorite topics, y'all, and we talk about them all on this show. And the reason that I decided to do this podcast on those topics is because I developed a horrible addiction to opiates. I broke my ankle and I got prescribed opiate medication. I probably never should have taken them because I've had a long struggle with addiction and substance abuse disorder my whole life. I started using as a kid when I was like 13, like most kids my age at that time that I knew. We all partied, smoked weed, drinking all that shit. Then I got clean at 25 years old, and I stayed clean for almost 17 years. You know, I had some slips, blah, blah, blah. And then, like I said, unfortunately, I broke my ankle skating, and I ended up taking those opiate pain medications, and it went on for 9 years, y'all. I've been clean now almost 2.5 years, and thank God, by the way. But getting off of them things was truly one of the worst things that ever happened to me in my life. And so we decided to do this podcast to hopefully be an inspiration to someone that might be trying to kick, because when I was trying to, I was looking for information online, Googling stuff, looking on YouTube, how to get through opiate withdrawals and all that stuff. And my story is a long one. So if you'd like to hear or more about it, go back and watch some of the previous Dare Me podcast episodes. You can catch them on the Dare Me podcast YouTube channel, Facebook page, all the things. And I'll tell more of my story and more about it as we go. But anyway, that's the Reader's Digest version, y'all. We try to be an inspiration to people looking to get off dope, an inspiration to people who are living clean, and also to just anybody who likes good content, because we do talk about all the things that I mentioned: drugs, addiction, recovery, enlightenment, music, exercise. And I was talking with the guys before the show, and music is definitely one of the main topics we talk about on this show. And for me personally, it truly has been like a lifesaver. You know, that whole parable of the empty mind. You take negative shit out, you better put some positive shit back in there real soon, and or else that negative shit will find its way back in. And so music's always something I've had a passion for. I made a living playing music as a DJ on the radio and bars and clubs, mobile DJ business, all that stuff. But I've taken a whole different path with music now in learning Logic, playing around with Pro Tools, producing music, auto tune, singing and shit. And the part of the reason I mentioned that tonight is because the person who inspired me to do it is on the show tonight. That boy Bang Shu is with us, and we're going to talk with him a little bit more in a moment about all that. So before we get to the guys, though, I want to tease our episode for next week, Back from the D, because like I said, y'all, I spent some time here in Detroit City. And last night I was at an event at this place, the Motor City Casino, and a place in there called the Soundboard. It was a great event that I'm going to talk about and show a video for in just a moment. But just thought I'd show y'all. We're going to talk a lot more about it next week. We paid a visit to the historic Fox Theater. Got some great video of that. We'll show you next week. So again, we're just trying to teach you to tune in next week. There is the famous Little Caesars Arena where the Detroit Pistons and Detroit Red Wings play, and they have a lot of concerts there. That's the famous Hockey Town Cafe. And of course, there's Mickey Miguel in his final season. He's a legend. If you're a baseball fan, you already know. And there's Ford Field where the Lions play. Of course, we all got big hopes for the Lions this year. And then there is the famous Renaissance Center in downtown Detroit. Thought I'd take a picture of Aretha Franklin Way talking about music. Sister Ray, so famous in Detroit City. They named a street after her. And you know, we had to stop by Mom Spaghetti, that famous M&M restaurant. We got a lot of footage there. In fact, we interviewed one of the guys working there, and he talks about all these famous people that stopped in: Eminem, Snoop Dogg, LL Cool J. And that's all coming up on next week's of the show. So anyway, y'all, I talked about this event that we attended at the Motor City Casino last night. And again, we are going to do a deep dive into that next week. And the reason we went was to attend an event called the Roast and Toast for the Jamie Daniels Foundation. Jamie Daniels was the son of Ken Daniels, and Ken Daniels is a legend in Detroit, play-by-play announcer for the Detroit Red Wings for 25 years. There's Ken with his son Jamie. Heartbreaking, a parent's worst nightmare. Jamie died of an opiate overdose. Ken and his family have shared openly and formed this foundation called the Jamie Daniels Foundation about their son's struggles with substance abuse disorder. He was really trying to get his life on track through, treatment. And there's a fascinating and very interesting, heartbreaking story all about it that I highly encourage you to go check out. If this is a topic that interests you, just go Google the Jamie Daniels Foundation. It'll fucking blow your mind what happened. And these pictures, God, what a good looking kid, young kid. And he got a hold of some fake pills, man, synthetic opioids laced with heroin and fentanyl, and it killed him. And unfortunately, that happens all day, every day, all around the country. And God bless Ken and his beautiful wife and daughter. They formed the Jamie Daniels Foundation. And they've been going hard at it for, I think, 4 or 5 years. Their son passed back in December of 2016. And they do these fundraisers and events. And of course, with his involvement with the Detroit Red Wings, he gets a lot of support from them. And they did this roast and toast for a couple of the Red Wings players last night, Eric Lidstrom and Thomas Holzer. And so here we are together. I attended the event with an old friend of mine, Pete Falk. Shout out, Pete, if you're watching. and got to meet Ken in person. And there we are talking, and took a picture together, and just met all kinds of people. Oh, there's Pete. Yo, back hanging with you. Welcome, Pete. He just chimed in the chat room. Appreciate you going out there. Kelly's in the chat room. Shout out, Kelly. Detroit in the house. Hey, everyone. Appreciate all y'all watching, listening, and in the chat room. And so anyway, shout out as well to Ken Daniels and all the folks we saw there last night. Next week, y'all are really going to dig the show because we met a lot of legends. Mickey Redmond was there. We met Chris Draper. Chris Osgood was there. Steve Ott. You get the idea, y'all. You know me. I love name dropping, and we really definitely met some cool people there last night. And what a great organization. We're going to do a deep dive talking a lot more about them next week and as we go. And again, shout out to my friend Pete. Excuse me, y'all, for filling me in on that event and all. And it just worked out that while I was in town for my nephew Jason Bacashua's wedding, he got married Friday night to his beautiful wife Chantel. Shout out to y'all. Had such a great time Friday with them. Just worked out that this event was going on the very next day, and I was able to attend. So with all that said, y'all, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about our friends from Rarehearted, because one of the things that this foundation has a mission for is getting to our youth. And when I say youth, I mean younger people, because there's a study that shows 90% of people that OD or develop a substance abuse disorder when they get older, in their 20s or older, started using when they were under 18. And so, in that ballpark, 18, 20 somethings or whatever. And another reason why I'm so happy, and I don't want to sound condescending, but so proud of our friends from Rarehearted who are living right. And let's bring them on right now. There they are again. And man, just so freaking talented and setting such a great example for our youth. We were talking a little bit before the show. If I can, Bang, I'll send our first question to you. You guys are even getting into fitness now too, right? Who inspired you to start doing all that?
So Rama was the one that put me and Kyle on fitness. Like he's been in the gym for a minute. So
yeah,
he definitely inspired and influenced us to do that.
Yeah, well, hey, man, that's fantastic. As I think you guys know, I'm a gym rat. I know I follow you guys on social media, and I see you like my shit from time to time. I know people get irritated sometime when I check in at the gym, but you know what? I saw a meme. I posted it this last week, and a lot of people liked it. It said, "You will inspire some and irritate others. Do it anyways." And so, anyway, with all that said, y'all, if we can, I want to go into this little bit of a story about how, Bang, I met your brother Shivang. And for our regular viewers and listeners, Shivang has been a regular guest on the show. He's here in the house right now, actually. And, when Shivang and I met, we were working on going to meetings together. We would ride together. And man, he told me he was into music. And we developed this little bond that we have in common. And man, we'd be playing music in the car, and he'd start spitting, freestyling and shit. And he was like, "Come on, G, jump in there, man." And we were just having fun back and forth, no inhibitions. And then he told me, "Wow, man, my brother's really into music too, man. He's really, got skills. You should come over sometime and lay something down." And I'm like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, a little more to the story, but if you remember, I came over, man, and we laid down what we do. We did a couple Grandmaster Flash.
We did like 3 or 4 songs, right?
Yeah, we did Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5. We did The Message, Survival, and then I was having so much fun. I asked you if we could do a Frank Sinatra tune. We did a couple, actually.
You sounded just like him on that, too.
Yeah. The old Rat Pack stuff is kind of what my voice is a little suited for, but I just always had this dream of recording those Grandmaster Flash tunes because, for me, that's some of the original rap, is them old school, late 70s rap tunes and all. And, I had those lyrics memorized, and not even really memorized. I just own them, because I've sang them songs so many times. I just know it, And if you remember, bro, when we got done, I'll never forget it. You made me feel so good, and you were so patient with me, by the way, because we did so many takes. And I remember when we got done, you actually said to me, you know, bro, you actually did pretty good for somebody doing this for the first time. And that was it. I was hooked, and I've been on this journey for the last 2 years of, you know, digging deep into Logic. You remember I went and bought that Mac Studio computer. You came over, helped me set it up, and yeah, it's been this journey ever since. And God, I've recorded more songs than I could even tell you right now, you know. And so I'm just forever grateful to you, man, because like I said, when I got off the dope, y'all, I needed something to fill that void, and something that I could have a passion for, that I enjoy doing, that's positive and fulfilling for me. And I just feel like I owe it to you, man. And thank you so much, you know, for your inspiration, man. You've inspired me more than you even know. We were joking before we got on the air, y'all, and I go, oh my God, when Shebang brought me over here, you know, if you remember, I was overweight, bro. I was up to like 180. I'm down to 140 now, 135-ish, 140, and living healthy. But I was out of control then, and I bet you were thinking like, "Oh my God, who is this fat ass old white dude
who's
my brother brought over?"
Bringing around here?
What's that, bro? I didn't hear.
I was like, "Who is my brother just bringing around?"
Yeah,
here?
yeah. But then it's like we made this connection, man, and we've been buddies ever since. And you know, like I say, you know, I say this a lot about your brother, but it's kind of like with you too. You guys remind me like of an old soul, and I'm an older guy that refuses to grow up, so we kind of meet in the middle. But you know, when it comes to music, it's like this universal language, isn't it? You know, there's no age gap or anything. And so let's get off that and talk a little bit about this, because one thing I love about you guys is, you know, to me at least, you know, your music is very eclectic. You know, you're not stuck in one single genre, you know. I mean, you guys have a style to me. You know, there's a clear style, but it's like it's a little different than a lot of the stuff you hear today. And so with all that said, I want to go ahead and play, because we're going to do about a half dozen clips of some of y'all's stuff. And you know, like I said, one thing I love about you guys is you do stuff as a group, but you also have some of your solo stuff, and you encourage and support each other on that as well. And so this first song is the first one that I ever heard by you, Shu, that when I heard it after we had worked together, I had no idea you had skills like that. And I was like, whoa, bro, this guy's the real deal, you know. And I was in the studio with him. I was feeling starstruck like after the fact, if that makes sense. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and play a clip. And this tune right here is oh God, it's not called Mixed Up, it's called Deja Vu. And but there's a lyric in it, already feeling mixed up. So let's go ahead and give it a listen, and then we're going to talk with you guys a little bit more about this one.
Man, this is just the beginning. Yeah, we do this shit for real. Yeah, I'm already feeling mixed up. So don't ask me where I've been, I can make the speakers bump. I'm already feeling mixed up. So don't tell me how to live, I'm just doing what I want. Young motherfucker came in with the work. Steady, do no wrong when you catch me in the dirt. Talking 6 feet down, talking dig deep earth. I was scared I would drown, so I dip feet first in the pool with my head on the ground. Got my feet in the clouds, I'm not feeling left out. I don't know what to do about you, about him, and I'm through with the bullshit. Anybody wanna fuck with me, you better watch when you step when you walking with a G. Anybody wanna fuck with me, you better watch when you step when you walking with a G. Look, yeah, I'm already feeling mixed up. So don't ask me where I've been, I can make the speakers bump.
Yeah. Ooh, man, you can make the speakers bump, bro. I was telling them before that, yeah, look at Dean's even vibing to that, man. And Dean's like an old classic rocker, bro. I'm telling you, man, their music is off the chain, y'all, for those watching and listening.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Rare-Hearted is for the people.
Yeah.
Rare-Hearted is for everybody.
For everybody. And I was telling Shu, y'all, that one of the lyrics I love is, you know, one of my nicknames, because my name's Glenn, is G. And then my son, we call him G all the time. And you got that lyric in there, you know, if you fucking with a G, you know, and, you know, I just love it. So, but I got to tell you, Shu, yeah, I'm just saying, man, you ain't no spring chicken anymore, because you look pretty young in that video, because that tune's a few years old.
That was like 2 years ago,
Yeah, a couple years old. So, man, I tell you, the moments go by quick. Yeah.
I was trying to grow the beard out at that time.
Right. Well, tell us a little bit about that song, because, hey, man, we, you know, I want to hear, like I said, we want to do a little deep dive. What was the inspiration for that? What does that song mean to you? And tell us a little bit more about how that one came together.
Honestly, that song, like, I was just trying to have fun on it, you know, like, I was just making the beat. There was no, like, whenever I make music, there's never really an intention into what I'm gonna make or like put out. I kind of just make it. And then that song, it was really just about like rap, like just rapping, like purely rapping. Like,
right.
I feel like music is missing that too, like strictly rap.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted to have fun on that track too.
And I could tell you were, bro. And the video was outstanding too.
Yeah.
Love the video. So, okay, well, let's play this next clip, because y'all have a tune together as a group called X. And what I love about it is it features all of y'all in these little runs on it. And so, Shu, we just show kind of the tail end of your little run on this, and then we go into one of the other guys, and then I'll show another clip. And we definitely want to talk to you, to your bros next to you. So let's play this next one, and then we'll talk.
We independent. All I depend on is the beginning. Like, who are you kidding? Rare hearted, I don't need no friendship. Little boy, get the fuck on my mentions. Little boy, get the fuck on my mentions.
X on the spot, this is treasure. I'm ahead of the curve, trendsetter. Don't lie to me, who do it better? Putting in work, I'm applying that pressure. Taking the stress off, got me together. Escaping the world, I'm untethered. Messing with big dogs, thought you knew better. Making a statement, one to remember. Run with the winners, pray for the sinners. All of us pros, it's not for beginners. My old girl was extra, I had to forget her. You don't got masters, you not a contender. You don't gotta worry, I always deliver. Competition, get it, put in the blender. Turn back around, please do not enter. Boss out of town, don't fuck with your members. Don't need handouts, I'm hot in the winter. Might fuck around and pop out in the fit.
Wow, man, we over here dancing. I looked over at the guys on the couch. They were all dancing. So our boy Keon couldn't be with us here today, but y'all got to, oh, look, Dave X just chimed in. RAREHEARTED. Welcome, Dave. So tell us a little bit about, I wish he could have been here with us today, but like I said, we'll try to get him in here down the road. Oh, Kelly's chiming in. That's fire. She got like 8 of them up there. Yeah. So tell us about
the fire
that.
department.
Yeah. So what about that song? One of y'all tell us a little bit more about the song. How did that song come together, and what was your inspiration for it?
So X is the first song on our project, Full Circle. And honestly, that song to us was just all about energy. It was all about letting all of us have our shine.
Yeah.
And just going in, you know. We wanted to
sound hungry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Starving artists.
Right.
It was us talking our shit for real.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it was about. You know, it's that first track, so we wanted to, you know, set it off, give them that energy. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, tell you what, let's go ahead and play the second clip from that same tune, then we'll talk to you.
We got next, wait on arrival. I'm on sin, I'm on bliss. That's me and Kyra. When is they win, when is they get? Most of them five. You not twin, life got twist. You're not alright,
I've been the illest, they know it. Copy and mimic my style, I'm goated. You stay doing gimmicks just to get noticed. I'm just a kid, lock it and loaded. Still looking for worthy opponents. I'm like Mona Lisa. Too hard to decode it. My ratio golden. You fake motherfuckers are actors. Jennifer Lawrence won't show you my masters. That's cause I own it. Best talk to me proper. Head of the state. Come fuck on the monarch. Making my queen. They never design her. Wrapped in designer. Gucci Prada. Dolce Gabbana.
I love it, man. That is hell yeah. You know it, bro. You know, I got to tell you, your hairstyle in that last one reminds me of that boy Gene Simmons from Kiss. The way you had it pulled back. Did everybody tell you that before? Yeah. But Dean, were you thinking the same thing? I see you smiling there.
No, that you say it. I get that a lot. Yeah.
But I love it, man. I just love the vibe, y'all. And I just think it's so cool that, you know, again, you guys each took a run on that jam. And
that's what it was all about, really.
Yeah. Well, what was your take on it, bro? You got the mic in your hand. Tell us a little about your involvement with that tune. What were you into when you were doing that one?
Honestly, it was like we went into that whole project full circle, trying to get some performance songs, because that is the goal for this year and next year, is to get us into a concert.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta see us live for real. We got so much music, and X is the start of it.
Yeah, well, I love it, man. And oh man, I'd be the first to buy a ticket to y'all show. I definitely want to see y'all perform live, because you know what? I haven't seen y'all perform live. And you know, I'm just so into y'all's music. And you know what? That's another thing, talking about even like kind of joking about the whole Gene Simmons thing, but I just fucking love y'all's style, man. And I think it's fucking awesome that y'all are even thinking that way, because you know, we're going to show some other stuff in a minute here, but y'all take that to heart. Like, you know, you got that style where you're wearing the suits and ties. I don't know if y'all gonna like this or not, but I'm just gonna say it. Y'all reminded me, when I saw that whole vibe, I was thinking, man, these motherfuckers look like New Edition when they were young back in the day. Because you know, you got style, man. And you know, so many groups now, I get it, I ain't judging, I like it all, you know what I mean? But some of them, man, they don't get that the dress is important. Like today, we're just casual, man. We're wearing t-shirts and shorts and stuff. But when y'all are performing, man, you take it for real, and you dress and you look classy as hell, you know, and then go hard at it. And I like that. It's kind of a little contrast there, if that makes sense, you know? So, okay, y'all, I want to go into this next tune, because this is also one of my favorite tunes by y'all. And you know, this is one y'all did together as a group, and this one's called Greenland. So let's go ahead and play this clip, and then I want to ask you some questions about it. Yeah, there you go. Check it out, y'all.
Are you okay? Do you need a friend? Follow me, I'll keep you safe. Don't wanna pretend like I got 100 in the safe. Rari in the bin, sitting right next to the Wraith. You don't understand, but I'ma keep going. Bitch, we gon' keep going. Shout out to the real ones, real love gon' keep showing. Don't take no crime scene. My eyes beaming like Sky D. We three-peating like Chicago. This rainy shit on my poncho. Hold your shit up how we came to win. Look, when this money coming in, we paying rent. I don't give a fuck. I'm doing what I please. That's the difference. You don't really wanna talk to me. Hey.
Oh man, I'm so proud of y'all, them Detroit City boys, man. I see shit like that. It makes me so proud to be from Detroit. And again, I don't want to sound condescending, y'all, but I am. I'm so fucking proud of you, man. You are definitely doing Detroit proud. And I gotta tell you, man, not only is the music off the chain, but these videos, man, y'all are doing a great job on the videos. So anyway, I was joking with the guys while I was playing. I love that one part where you go, ow, 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 you know, and I made a reel, and that's how I started it, because I did a few reels promoting the show today. And so tell us a little bit about this song, because I'm just curious, you know, what was the inspiration for it? What's the meaning behind it? Either one of y'all, who wants to talk about this one?
That's the song where we actually started taking videos serious, like very serious, and we wanted to up our quality with the music, with the mixes, but mostly that video, it was done by our friend Blanco.
Yeah. Blanco's out in LA, ain't he?
I think he's back in Detroit.
Oh, is he back in Detroit now? Okay.
He's mobile.
Yeah, I know you were out in LA weren't you doing some work with him for a while, or something like that? Yeah. Well, that is one of my favorite tunes, y'all. So, okay, now we're going to do another clip. And this one, I was telling Shu that this one, it's got a different vibe, y'all. This is what I mean by y'all's music. It is, to me, it's so eclectic. It's not like y'all just are like pigeonholed into this one genre. And this one is called Dial Up.
I was so
man. You know, that one, I'm telling you, man, I have I was telling you, Bang, and I've told so many people, that one reminds me just the kind of vibe and beat of it, of that genre of that boy, Fat Boy Slim. And it's just got a similar vibe to it. And so I just love it, man, because I'm just going to say, I mean, you guys, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think of you guys more as rappers than any other genre. You know, obviously you got the pipes, you got the vocals, you have some variety there. Well, okay, give him the mic because he's pointing at each of you. I want to know what he means by that. Give him the mic, Shoot. What do you mean by that?
These
bro?
two got the vocals. I gotta have that auto tune for sure.
Keon
goes crazy as well.
Shoot.
But Kyle is the best, like, lyricist. He's got the pen game. He's got the best, like, rap style, if you want to say rap. Like,
I started off rap, and that's what I love the most. So keep to it.
Well, you know what? You mentioned auto-tune. Let's talk about that for a moment because, you know, we've all heard it, man. There's like people like, oh, the motherfuckers using auto-tune, man. You know, there were people with talent until auto-tune came, you know, and it's like, fuck all that, man. You know, I love it. And I know such talented artists that love auto-tune. Yeah, you know, Shu, you know, I'm a big fan of that girl, Benny, that me and your brother went to see down at the shelter at St. Andrews Hall. And we met her and got to talk with her and stuff. That girl has the pipes, man. She can sing, but she loves auto-tune too. And she put a little something out there. She did this tune with a lot of auto-tune on it. And she knew some people were going to cop attitude about it. She was like, hey, if any of y'all have an attitude with the auto-tune, she goes, fuck you. Basically, because you know, another reason, as I alluded to, Shu, that I'm so grateful to you is because my journey has been, if you work in Logic or Pro Tools or whatever, you start learning about all these different plugins and special effects and all that you can put on your voice, you know. And then here's something I'll say, not to belabor this issue, but I saw an interview with Julian Lennon, John Lennon's son. There was this interview on YouTube, and this dude was talking to him about different things. And he goes, hey, man, I want to ask you a question. You know, all these young artists now using auto-tune. He said, do you think your dad would have embraced or liked auto-tune, or would he have been like, nah, fuck all that? And without skipping a beat goes, oh, my God, my dad would have loved auto-tune. He said, think about it. The Beatles were known for experimenting with different things in music and different sounds. And then he went on to say, he goes, and my dad hated his voice. He didn't think he had a good voice. And we're like, what, John Lennon? But he didn't. So he would have loved auto-tune. So the point I'm making is, you know, I don't want to sound all defensive because I use it, you know. I can sing, like we talked about a little bit, the Rat Pack style and stuff like that, without really putting a lot of sauce on it. But there's some stuff that if I don't auto-tune it, it's like I would never let somebody hear that shit, you know. So anyway, that's why I come down off my soapbox, y'all. But I love auto-tune, so I follow you, bro, you know.
I feel you on that.
Yeah. But so anyway, yeah, that tune, I love that tune, man. And what was the inspiration for that video shoot? Because you guys were like in a hotel room for that one, right?
So that was Kyle's first video that he ever shot, directed, edited. So we were like, okay, let's just do it ourselves. Let's figure it out. And that's what it took. Like, we figured it out. We had a version of the video, and then he completely just scrapped it. And he's like, all right, we're going to do it like this. And that's what this like video came out to be. And it was really us just, again, like getting our feet in the water, trying to get used to things and just trying to create art.
Yeah, exactly.
Without spending $400.
Yeah, there's no budget for any of our videos or music. Like, everything is self-funded, everything's independently done. Like,
for now, because I'm predicting, man. I'm predicting one day I'm gonna be like, I knew them boys rare-hearted before, you know, because y'all are going places, man. I really believe that. I really do. You're just so talented. And so I want to go to this next song because this one, it's got a different vibe than, you know, like the one we just heard. You know, like I said, it kind of almost had that, you know, Funk Soul Brother, Fat Boy Slim kind of vibe to it, where this one, it's kind of more of like a mellow. I don't want to flower it up too much and say love song, but it's definitely got more of a mellow vibe to it. I got to tell you, bro, I just fucking love this tune called I Want to Know. Oh, Cole C in the house.
Shout out
These
Cole.
guys
Shout out Cole.
are something the industry needs. Say
Yes,
that, Cole.
sir.
Welcome,
Say it
and
for the
thanks
people
for
in the back.
checking in on the show. Yeah. So, okay, let's check this one out. One of my favorite Rare Hearted tunes. And, oh, look, wait, what was that? I want to see the comment. The mindset these guys have are unbelievable and unmatched. Cole C chimed in again, and I couldn't agree more. Shu says, shout out Cole. So, okay, let's go ahead. Oh, there's Dave again. Woohoo! Agree, Cole. Yeah, we got a whole
blown up.
Yeah, we got a whole chat room full of people and viewers and listeners. But okay, man, I want to play this clip because I do want to hear about the inspiration for this tune a little bit more, because this is one of my favorite tunes. So let's go ahead and play it.
I wanna know this. I wanna know this. What's it taste like? Can you make right? Can you take flight shit? I'm okay right here. I'm okay right here. I wanna know this shit. I wanna know this shit. What's it taste like? Can you make right? Can you take flight shit? I'm okay right here. I'm okay right here. See the moonlight, get the moon right. I want you right here. Give me 2 nights just to prove that you're not too nice yet. See the moonlight, get the moon right. I want you right here. I want you right here.
Wow, man, I just love that tune. And you know what? I definitely want to ask you some questions about that. I'll also say that, bro, you were just saying, y'all do these videos, they're low budget and, not spend a lot of money, but they're fucking high quality videos. And so, Dean, I wanted to get a little bit of your take because, I know you've done your share of music videos and foreign like rap artists and stuff.
Oh,
and,
throwing me under the bus now.
Well, I ain't throwing you under the bus, but I'm just curious. These guys
the old school bus.
Yeah, the old school bus. But they're working, like you said, I just used the phrase on maybe a shoestring budget, but I think they're like top shelf videos and you're making the best of the resources you have for today. So, Dean, what's your take on them videos? I think they're fucking awesome. What would you say?
It's a new day, a new age of videos that the rules are being rewritten.
Yes.
And it's exciting. I'm all over it. It's I'm so glad I don't do that anymore. But
well, I got
you know what? There's a reason why, across the board, people are becoming more and more proficient with even their cell phones and shooting films and videos and whatnot. So I'm thinking that there's the twerkers on TikTok, they're making better videos every day, and I gotta love it. It's a brave new world out there. So I kind of wish it was happening 30 years ago, but but okay, here we go.
Yeah, well, no, I appreciate your take on it, Dean. And Shu, you and I were talking before the show today that, I put some reels together promoting y'all being on today. Yep. And that was just me going on Instagram, playing with the different transition and the glitter falling down and trying to match the lyrics to the pictures. And you can get creative for even just the lay person, if you will. But I just got to say, y'all, me and Dean, we've been working together for years. And back when I lived in Orlando, I'd just show up at his studio every now and then, and he'd have some of these local Orlando rappers there, man, and they'd have the girls all decked out in the shorts and sexy looking women and the big old gold chains and stack of money and the generic rap videos, if you will,
cars and girls,
and
that money,
studio, and then they were cool. I liked them. I actually liked them. Dean wasn't the biggest fan of his own work, but I liked him.
No. It wasn't that. It was, I guess I was in that arena where really crappy music gets laid out before me, and I'm supposed to go, hey, you want to work and make money and make a video? And I go, great. Now let me hear the music.
But see, you got to remember, music is a very
No. There is such a thing as bad music. Okay,
you know when there's a bad song.
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
you just know.
No, I give y'all that. That's true. That's true.
I had one video. Maybe it was 10 years ago. The woman came in. She's from like Trinidad or something like that, and she had this song, and she was doing a kind of a she's trying to do one of these really ultra sexy rap videos, and I made and the music was just not great. And she could have used auto-tune. Auto-tune was being used 10 years ago. Right. And she didn't. And I made the mistake, and the music wasn't that great. It was a little sexy, but it wasn't that great. But then I made the mistake of asking her what other songs she had. Right. And I got to tell you, she sounded like someone was strangling a cat.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad. It was just bad. And I can't smile and say, oh yeah, that's good. I've turned away more people just because I go, dude, I'm not your guy. I'm just not your guy.
No, I get it. Well, you know what? I appreciate your take on it all, Dean. But what we just talked about, I think is important because all the more props to you guys that you're doing these high quality videos
absolutely.
On low budget, where back in the day, Dean would have these major productions going on in his studio, and y'all's quality in the videos you're doing now are even better than all that stuff. So I just love what you're doing.
Great videos, but great music, and you guys are really, you guys have got your own thing going on.
Yeah, you're killing it. You're killing it. Well, hey, on that note, man, we're going to play one more clip, and then we're going to talk some more. I just been wanting to get some of the music out there so our viewers and listeners, understand why I've been so excited about you guys. Now, I got a little story about this song. This is from y'all's latest release called Full Circle. It's like y'all's CD, your album, and I use different platforms. I listen to SoundCloud, Spotify, whatever. My favorite is YouTube Premium. And, when you listen to different kind of music, it'll put together playlists for you. And so, based on your algorithms and your listening habits. And so I was telling the guys, I have, Cole says, hey, this gives us our time to shine with our generation. You guys had CDs. Well, okay. I'm glad he put that out there. What is the proper terminology when you put a compilation out there like that? What do you call it now? An EP or?
Honestly, dude, like at this day and age, since there is no physical music being bought, I wouldn't say no,
it's digital. I get it. Yeah.
There's you can call it whatever. I can call
albums came back.
Still call it an album. Yeah. It doesn't have to be vinyl to be an album.
But vinyl came back. It's coming back.
Vinyl's coming back.
Yeah,
people are printing vinyl. Yeah.
I'm sure
I think cassette tapes are gonna make a run back.
Oh yeah, 8-track.
Yeah. No, we don't want no 8-track. Man, that would suck. When I was younger, bro, I'd be riding down the road in my car, and you'd be in the middle of the best part of the song, and all of a sudden you'd hear this. So it'd switch over.
Hey, I'm glad we didn't have to go.
Do y'all know this boy Dev Ravel? Is that one of y'all's friends? He said, "Go babies," So we got another person.
That might be one of my family members.
Yeah, we got a busy chat, lots of viewers and listeners. Once again,
go ahead and play that video, Glenn, because we got a question coming up.
Okay, well, here's one that I want to tell a little quick story about. I started telling that, YouTube Premium will generate these playlists for me. And I was telling the guys, I was getting ready one day, and I got music vibing while I was in the bathroom shaving and shit. Different songs are coming on this playlist that YouTube generated for me, and I'm listening. Go, oh yeah, I like that one. Oh, I like that one. And then this song came on, and I'm like, damn, I remember that song from somewhere. I love this jam. Who the fuck is that? And I go look at my phone, and it's fucking RAREHEARTED. I'm like, that's the voice I know, man. So this is my favorite song off the album. Is what I'm gonna call it. Full Circle, and it's called MIA. So let's go ahead and listen. Then we're going to talk to you about this song. Here we go.
No, I can't get the word in my. What you gonna do when I'm in MIA? No, I can't get the when I'm in MIA. Shawty calling news when I'm in MIA. No, I can't lose when I get in my way. What you gonna do when I'm in MIA? No, I can't get the when I'm in MIA. Shawty calling news when I'm in MIA. No, I can't lose when I get in my play. If you ever down, let's boom my A. I've been going ghost since MIA.
They don't wanna see me in my A. They don't wanna see me in my bay. They don't wanna see a W with my name attached. They don't wanna see the whole crew fly jet. Open doors get closed, but the possibilities endless. My pops don't know, but I'ma get everything I manifested. Time will show what is really of my interest. Some won't grow if the time isn't invested. Down this broken road, I piece together flows. I don't know where it goes, but I won't turn to a barcode. Too many lost souls, too many lost souls, too many lost souls.
Too many lost souls. I love that, man. I will be honest. You know, I edited those this morning, and I thought that was the perfect fucking line to end it on. Too many lost souls, man. You know, having to do with, you know, some of what this show is all about, man. We're trying to help people who, you know, there's too many lost souls out there, y'all. So I got to ask you a question, Ramos. This is the kind of shit. This is how my crazy mind works. I'm looking at the artwork for the cover of that.
Yeah.
Everybody's wearing a white shirt and a tie.
Yeah.
You got on another one. Was that planned? Or
no,
was that...
it's just because I didn't have a black suit.
Oh,
so
okay.
like I was like, all right, well, you know, suit, yeah.
Yeah,
so.
but you know what? Check this out. So I'm, you know, not to compare apples to oranges, but I love it because it made that pop.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of like. Remember the Beatles, Abbey Road? They're all fucking walk across the street, but Paul ain't wearing no fucking shoes, and that's what people focused in on.
That's so funny.
And so with this cover art, that's what I focused in on. Like, wow, that was cool, man.
I feel like I would be the one that wouldn't be wearing shoes during a shoot or something.
See,
like
I love hearing stories like that. Here, you know, you look at it and you almost think it was by design, and it was just like, no, bro, I just didn't have a suit.
Yeah, that was like that's the only suit I own. So it's like, all right, well.
Right. Oh, cool. Well, hey, we got another comment from Cole. What's he say? What's your guy? Oh, great. You got a question. What's your guys' thoughts on girl rappers nowadays compared to the early 2000s? For example, the viral lyrics, my pussy pink and my booty hole brown. Oh, good God. I wish I'd have read that before I read it.
Cool.
You know, but you know what? Hey, man, it is what it is. You know, on this show, we put that content warning on the front end that, man, sometimes we use strong language on here. We'd like to keep it real, you know, so it is what it is. What's y'all's take on that, and what do you got to say about that? Be careful, bro. Be careful now.
Here's my filter take on it.
Right.
So, like,
well,
music is music. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it.
I guess maybe he's asking you if any of you guys are fans of girl rappers right now.
Like Doja Cat.
Who do you listen to? Who do you listen to?
There's such a small handful of female rappers that I genuinely like. Like, I cannot say I don't want to throw names out there, but like, you know, like the top names, like I don't enjoy listening to that. It's just not for me, but that doesn't mean that it's not for like anybody else, you know what I mean?
Yeah, see, like I love like Doja Cat, for example, and not that all her stuff is rap, but hey, man, she gets raunchy, and I love a strong, independent woman. I'm listening to her shit going, go, girl, go, you know, you tell her, man, this ain't just for the boys, you know, so.
Rhapsody, for sure. One of the best lyricists out there.
Right. And hey, I want to also mention, you know, I got to send a shout out to my boys back in Sacramento, Moving Forward Music, Tyler and Josh. And I went to an album release party. In fact, your brother Shebang went with me, bro. And they had about 5 different girls or artists rapping there as warm-ups, and one of them was this girl Spittles, and shout out Spittles if you see this, and she was awesome, man. I loved listening to her stuff. So, you know, I guess it's just a matter of preference. Hey, Cole's chiming in again. He says X Selfish and MIA hardest songs ever. So yeah, for the rest of y'all, man, definitely go check out the Full Circle compilation and release, because it is off the chain.
Out now.
And then, oh, look at Linda chiming in. She says hi to all the Detroit peeps from a transplanted Detroiter. She's down in Jacksonville, Florida. So, you know,
is that our trucker friend?
Yeah. Linda's been on the show before. Linda. So you know Linda, when she's out on the road, I know Linda, you be bumping that Rarehearted in the truck, right? While you're driving these trips. So welcome, man. We got a lot of people chimed in today, y'all, because I know a lot of people were really wanting to see and hear y'all on the show today. So, you know, we talked about some, and there's Dove X MIA. Hell yeah, bro. That is the jam. That's my favorite. That whole album is awesome. That is my favorite tune. But let's talk a little bit more about Full Circle. Oh, Pete says, I can see why you prop these guys up so high. Great stuff. And I got to tell you, bro, you're coming from Pete, that is a high compliment. Pete is one of my old friends. He's from my generation, y'all. Rock and roll drummer. And I'm talking they reached that level, bro, and his whole family is musical. So Pete, man, thank you for that comment. Yeah, man. Maybe one day we'll get together with Pete and y'all can meet him. But he's a real one for sure. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about the whole Full Circle compilation. Y'all, I know y'all worked hard on that and for a long time. So just, whatever it is, you can tell us about it. What was the inspiration? How did it all come together? How's it been being received? Obviously great with our viewers and listeners, but what's your feeling on the whole thing, bro?
This EP, it was 15 tracks at one point. I mean, there is a whiteboard in this room.
Yeah, it's literally right there.
With all of the tracks that were supposed to be on it and that didn't make it because we ended up like just saying like it needs to be short. Like everything needs to be heard, and we can't just put out like albums that they only listen to the first three to five songs on. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Full Circle was in the making for probably a year and a half, and 3 of the songs were done for a year, literally. And the concept of the album is really not conceptual, but like Full Circle meaning we're trying to bring, like you said, the Suits, we're trying to bring that class back to rap. You know what I'm saying?
Say that.
And it's full circle from where we were, from where we started. Like, I'd say that is one of our first releases that we like truly believed that people were gonna hear it and understand who we were.
Yeah, I love that, man. What about the rest of y'all? What was y'all's take on the compilation? Tell us a little bit about, putting the project together and the process and all that.
So yeah, like Kyle said, it was probably in the making for like a year and a half. The first song we had was Selfish, and it was just me on the song, and Keon had made the beat. It was just drums and a melody, like simple, like simple is always good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the whole in my eyes, Full Circle is like, it's just who we are, like at a higher place from who we were. So when we started, like we were young kids, we didn't know how to work programs, but we knew we wanted to make music, and Kyle was the first one to do that, and he got us all on to making music and like getting a laptop. And I remember like Ramo and like Kyle and even me and Kenny, like we were all saving up money to like get our own computers and shit so we could like start making music. So it's really just it was kind of like a self-rewarding project too. Like, oh, we've come this far, even though it may not show. Like, it definitely, if you look at it in a grand scheme of 2-3 years, like we've made a lot of progress.
Right.
It was a good project for sure.
Stamp in time for us.
Yeah.
What was that, bro? I didn't hear you.
It's a stamp in time.
Oh, a stamp in time. Ramo, let's hear your take on it, man. Cause
I think with each project that we've worked on, or like since we started, like we've been learning a lot about working with each other and just like actually making projects in general, and this one I think is the first one that we were just super confident in. I think that we all sank into that, like into our confidence, into our skills, into like what we want to do more of and what we want to give more of. And for sure. And the name, the title was just so perfect for us because we get into a lot of deep talks, and we noticed that a lot of our conversations were ending the way we started them. And so like we'd always just say, dang, that's a full circle moment. That's a full circle moment. So it was just so fitting, and everything about that project is just, to us, is just so, it's like our baby,
We got a name right down
here.
Everything like you hear and see was like, everything you hear and see was all made in this room or in his room or in his room. Like, we don't have no big budget studios or anything. This is the studio.
You know what? I mean, not to flower it up, which is one of my favorite sayings, y'all, but I believe so much in like vibes and
Yep.
energy
Yep.
and just being in this studio and talk about full circle.
Yeah.
Shoot, when I walked in this studio for
Yep.
the first time, I was a broken man,
Yeah.
man. I was still getting clean and a little bit dope sick over a couple of years ago. And to be in here today, we were talking before we went on the air today. You were like, damn, bro, I remember before you even started this podcast when you first kind of
Yep.
came up with the idea and ran it by me. And here we are 24 episodes
Full
later.
circle moment.
And man, we both have kind of gone full circle. So, and like I said, even when we started, y'all, with that whole Jamie Daniels Foundation event I attended, man, they're really trying to gear their message toward the youth, that man, you got your whole life ahead of you, and have passion for things. And they're saying out there now, y'all, it's like one pill can kill, because, let's face it, man, young people, you want to party, have a good time and shit. That shit's tempting, but man, you don't want to fuck with no perks, no Zans, no whatever, because now, man, they're lacing that shit with fentanyl. And then one of y'all, we were talking earlier, talking about the trank and shit too, you
Yep.
know?
Horrible.
Yeah.
It's spreading fast. Too.
Well, and that's why I'm just so happy, man. Y'all living healthy, going to the gym, staying fit, So let's talk about that just briefly, y'all, because that is kind of, the underlying theme of this show is trying to live clean and shit. How do y'all deal with that kind of temptation? Because, I know you must have boys out there that are partying and you're around that shit, especially in the music industry, man. There's always that shit around. So, and I mean, hey, like I say, I don't judge nobody. Do you?
Right,
You know, you like to party a little bit. Okay, do you? I'm just saying, man, stay away from them fucking pills because you just don't know what the fuck you might get. So anyway, I would like to hear, how do y'all deal with that temptation? And do you get offered shit when you're out there,
Um, I think honestly, it's finding a balance within
Yeah.
yourself for sure.
Yeah.
You know, like being physical, going to the gym. I feel like it's just so necessary. And I mean,
Yeah.
anything like that, anything that's healthy for you to get you that dopamine. It
Yeah.
could be anything really.
Right.
And like the thing with drugs, with like smoking or drinking, is like you're giving yourself a lot at one time, so it
Right.
can be really hard to like when you are trying to quit or slow down. It could be really hard because like your brain is just not getting that same amount of dopamine at that point. So it's
Right.
good to have things like music, like honestly
Yeah.
anything. It could be like taking a walk or anything like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, healthy habits. And honestly, like the biggest thing is like I feel like it's like shame is like to like not to have shame about it, because it's
Yeah.
everyone deals with that, and I feel like shame makes it worse. And I think shame and guilt are two
Makes
very
you go
very
deeper
are
into
two
yourself.
very very different things. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and talk to people. There's a lot of people out there who are willing to help.
Say that,
So
bro.
yeah,
Yeah, man. Wow, what a powerful message,
yeah,
man. And like you just said, finding them healthy outlets. And
mm,
like I've shared on this program many times and said tonight, for me, man, it became the music. And
yeah,
and I meant that sincerely when I said it, Shu. It's like, God, in a way, man, I feel like I owe my fucking life to you and your brother for inspiring me to go down this path and this
yeah,
journey with learning, production and logic and auto tune and not having inhibitions about my own voice and laying vocals down. And like you were saying, bro, sometimes I listen to shit and go, ooh, that's pretty rough. I got to put some auto tune on there, man, or whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's such a healthy outlet. So
Mm,
I want to ask this question, y'all, and I ain't putting y'all on the spot. You share
mm,
whatever you feel more comfortable with. But you often hear artists and most time young people say, well, I get more creative
right,
when
yeah,
I'm high,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
then I've heard other artists who got clean after the fact saying, well, I thought that was the case, but that shit fucked me
right.
up. And once I got clean. So have y'all, how should I say, experimented with that and what you're feeling on that?
Absolutely. I absolutely like I think that it could definitely help you get into a zone and definitely
Mm-hmm.
help you tap into I guess a different side of your
Right, right.
creativity.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I think that creativity is like something we're all gifted with,
Mm-hmm.
and it's something that we just have to learn how to tap into. And it's I feel like it's it's a necessary process to learn how to do it without any substances, because I think that'll overall allow you to be more creative in so many different avenues in your life, you know?
Yeah.
Even just like I mean, if you work a 9 to 5, like there's ways to be creative in that avenue too if you learn how to do that. And I think what stops most people is like being blocked, and it's like a fear of that, because when you are using substances, it's kind of like a sense of comfort because you're also relying on these things, and they, you know what I mean? So it's I guess it's more uncomfortable to be creative without it, because it's like unknown. You don't know, like, you don't know what to expect, so
Right.
it takes practice for sure. And
Yeah.
I think it's worth to try.
Well, I'm glad you shit, man. Thank you so much for your honesty,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah,
by the way,
absolutely.
and your openness about it.
Yeah.
I think even for myself, that it's like, even when I first started taking the opiates, y'all, you guys know my story. I broke my ankle. They start prescribing me the opiates. And I remember taking that shit, and I got what they call the wow factor. Not it doesn't affect everybody like that. But for me, I definitely fell in that category. And I remember saying, like, damn, man, it's like the best thing that ever happened to me. I feel great,
Right, yeah.
man. And it was great until it
Until it
wasn't.
wasn't, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. You said it, bro, because, and that's what I think happens. This is just my opinion. I'm curious to hear the other two of y'all give your input on this. It's great until it ain't. So I think, yeah, initially you think, like, especially you hear some guys, like, when they were tripping on acid, like, whoa, man, I made some of my best music. But then you keep taking that shit.
Right.
And then it turns on you, and now the creativity's gone.
I
You just
definitely
burned
think
up
that
all them cells
it
and
can
shit.
definitely help, like, but again, I think it should be taken in moderation and definitely safely, and I definitely believe you have to be in a comfortable mindset to do
Yeah.
that, like, already.
Well, and you and
so
I talked about this actually before the show, even, bro, that, I think what happens, and this is where young people, I think, get in trouble a lot is, you get that wow factor. And for some of us, that's cool and everything, and we can do it once in a while.
Yeah.
Then for some others, it's like you get that wow factor and you're like, damn, I can feel this good. I want to feel this good all the time. So now all of a sudden you taking that shit every fucking day, and then you just cross that line. You don't even know necessarily when or where it happens, but all of a sudden you cross that line, and now it's like you either stay loaded every day or none at all. They ain't no in between anymore, and so you got to be real careful with that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So how about you other guys, man? What's your take on this whole thing? Do you guys get tempted in the club, or I mean, how do you avoid that temptation?
Honestly, when I was little, I had a family member that went through addiction, and that opened my eyes a lot to, like, the consequences and everything early, which is really good. So
right.
I stayed away from a lot of the parties throughout all of high school and after. And honestly, I got a good got a good mindset about it. And when I do make music, I do get high sometimes.
Yeah.
And there's a difference when you're not high. It's like there's clarity in the lyrics.
Yeah.
That's like a
There's
major
no,
thing.
There's no, like, cloud
like
to your
distortion,
judgment.
Yeah, 'cause when I'm high and I'm writing, I'm also thinking about what other people would think about it.
Right.
And I mean, it stops you. That's like a creative block itself. Is just comparison. We all know, like, comparison is the thief of joy. And yeah, I was
I
using.
like that, man. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I got to remember that, man. Comparison is the thief of joy. Woo,
Really
that's a good statement, man. I ain't never heard that one before. I love that.
Comparison will take you away from what you truly want and what your true intentions were in the first place.
Yeah, we get caught up in what other people think, and it's an old saying and a cliche, and I've said it on the show many times. I bet y'all have heard it before, but somebody told me a while back, man, what other people think of me is none of my fucking business. Obviously, when you're doing art and music like what y'all are doing, yeah, you hope other people like your art and enjoy your music and all, but hey, I'm just doing me, man. If y'all like it, great. If you don't, then you don't have to listen, But shoot, I got to ask, I don't want to beat this topic to death, but I am curious your opinion on it too, bro. Because when you're young, man, it's like, y'all know some of my story, man. I DJ'd in bars and clubs for years, and I ran into some real troubles, man. I got all caught up in the whole party life, man. The blow and the smoke, every fucking thing. Thank God I survived it, and I'm still alive to tell the story. But I do know, man, when you work in the music industry, man, that shit is everywhere, and you can get carried away real easy. So I like what your bro said. Sometimes you got to find that balance, man, and not get cross that line where you're just getting fucked up all day, every day, because then you ain't got no creativity. So what's your take on it, man?
So my take on it is like, people will do what they do, but when you're creating, it should be coming from you. And I feel like when you're high, you are not yourself at all. And like, in my belief in creativity is we get it from good orderly direction, God.
Yeah,
so
say that.
When you're high, you're kind of like snipping that connection you have with God, so you're not really getting the full creative justice you can do to your work.
Right.
But don't get me wrong, like there's great artists. Like people will argue like Eminem made his best music when he was fucking using it.
Hey, I love that Relapse album, man.
Yeah, and like even Juice WRLD, like rest in peace, like all those young artists who passed away from like drug overdose and whatnot. Like, yeah, they were using, but they made great music and they touched millions of kids' lives.
Yeah.
Like, you can't deny that either. And like me personally, like I intern at a studio East Side Detroit, so I saw all kinds of like fucking weird ass people, like dope fiends and shit like that, drug dealers to drug users. And I would see, like, I would be listening to the music that they're recording, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, like, this is good music to them. But when you're in that mindset of high, like, certain things sound good. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like, I heard this video saying music nowadays is for the drug user. Back in like the 90s was for the drug dealers.
Right.
So there's a whole different like approach to it and sound to it. So I mean, definitely, I feel like it definitely like clouds your judgment for sure. But
at
the end of the day, like your creativity should come from who you are as a person with it. Like no crutches, no lifters, downers, whatever. Like this should just be you.
Yep. Well, you know what, y'all? I can't thank y'all for taking that little deep dive into that topic with me, because you know what? It's scary, man. When you think about some of the artists, just to name, fuck, everybody knows like what happened to Prince, Tom Petty, Juice WRLD, Peep, all these guys, those are older artists from my generation, younger artists from y'all's generation. And, these guys, they didn't want to fucking die. They were just partying or got caught up in a little, whatever. Some of them were, I think legit taking them for medical reasons, but then got physically dependent or addicted or whatever the fuck. And then they got bad pills and fucking died, and it's like, God damn, it's scary. And so I'm just glad to have an open conversation with you guys about it. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your honesty and your insight, because I think that's a great inspiration to other young artists. Because I will tell y'all, I know we have a lot of other young artists that participate in watching and listening to this podcast. So I really think y'all, are setting a great example. Not to say y'all gotta, take this thing of being a role model, the heart and all that, but people do look up to guys like y'all, and so I just think you're spreading such a positive message, living healthy, going to the gym, talking openly about this topic, because you know what? I really appreciate what you said, bro, about the whole shame thing and all, because, as for real, bro, like even at that Jamie Daniels Foundation event I went to, they talked about not only wanting to get to the youth, but also approaching this topic of what they call the stigma, because that is the one of the biggest stumbling blocks when people get a substance abuse disorder, man, is they're so apprehensive about coming out about it or asking for help. Well, what are people going to think of me? I mean, it was even that way with me, bro, starting this podcast, because, I came from the business world where I knew there were going to be a lot of people working in the media and the business world that didn't know that, I was struggling with that. Like, oh my God, what happened to Glenn? That motherfucker's a drug addict. Oh my God, and all that, and so, yeah, I was apprehensive about it at first. And now, man, I wouldn't have it any other way. Like I've said on this show, I've had so many people send us positive messages, DMs, and all that kind of stuff, thanking us for what we're doing. And so to me, that just blows that whole fucking stigma right out of the water, man. It's like we say on this show a lot, and like we even have in our opening in the promo, if we can help even one person with this program to stay alive even one day longer, then it's all worth it. And certainly you guys have helped spread that positive message today, so I can't thank you enough for being on with us, man. I just feel like we could sit here and talk all night, but I know, man, I don't want to hold y'all hostage, but I really hope to have y'all back on again. Yeah, we got to get that boy Keon on for real. So before we wrap it up, though, y'all, I do want to ask one more thing. We talked about the Full Circle release, and that's the best word to use. We'll call it the release, right? Instead of a CD or whatever. Oh, we did have a question, though. I wanted to go back to Dove was asking. Ramo asked, what did she want to know, Dean? What was his favorite tune on was it the Full Circle? Just what's your favorite Rare Hearted song, Ramo? Dove X wanted to know.
My favorite song on Full Circle, or just
you see the question here just says, Ramo, what's your favorite Rare Hearted song? So I guess any of them. What's your favorite one?
That's because I'm thinking of the songs that we don't even have released either. So,
right. So y'all have like the vault, right? Like
we definitely have a vault.
Oh man, I can't wait to
we all got like a bunch of music on our hard drives.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
think I'd say, wow, I actually got to think of it. Like,
I love
because
that
to be honest, every song has like a memory. It's not even just the song itself. It's recording it and like the overall feeling I had being in the studio with these guys from like start to finish. But man, I'd say probably X or Selfish was one of my favorite songs. Just because it was so fun to make those songs. I mean, for Selfish, I shot that video and edited it, and like I was dealing with a pretty tough time during that time, and like editing it was just so like healing for me, and it felt really, really good. So I'd probably say Selfish for me.
Wow. Well, thanks for that answer, man. And you know what? I really appreciate the thought you put into that answer. You didn't just spurt out some song. And then what you just said, man, that's part of my journey, bro. As you said, doing that was healing for you.
It really was.
And that's what I've been saying all along, where, shoot, man, God, bro, I am so grateful for you being I know I keep saying it, but I'm so grateful for you for embracing me and having as much patience as you did with me when I was first starting off on this journey of doing music this way, because it truly has been a life-saving and healing process for me. So Cole chimed in again and says, yeah, you sit in a room with these guys and talk for at least 30 minutes. You'll leave behind inspired and you'll feel invincible, feeling like you can achieve anything. And man, you are right, Cole. I feel that way too. Yeah, these guys are inspiring. So thank you so much, you guys. First of all, let me come in and take the captain's chair here in y'all's studio, and then being so open and telling us about the inspiration for some of y'all's music. I do want to ask just one more thing, and then we'll kind of bring this, pardon the pun, full circle and wrap this up. where y'all going from here? I know y'all touched on it a little bit, and you got a lot of unreleased music and stuff, but you know, I know y'all have some other projects coming up, and let's talk with y'all a little bit about that. Shoot, I know you got something in the can coming out real soon, don't you, bro?
Yeah, this Tuesday, so tomorrow at midnight, I'm dropping a double packs, which is just going to be 2 songs, Dance in the Rain and Do It.
Okay.
I produced it. Rama helped me write Dance in the Rain. We're shooting a video for it right now. It's probably not going to come out for a little while.
It's a movie.
Then, yeah, it's a movie.
It's a movie, yeah.
Kyle's dropping a Starfall at the same time too. Like,
right?
Isn't that crazy? Like, we're in the same group, but we're dropping like on the same day too. Like, there's no like clashing of heads in the group either.
It's not a competition, it's co-opetition, because I'm sure y'all push each other to
we
do
push
better.
each other. We push each other too, but sometimes there's songs like I'll hear a song and I'll hear like Kyle rap on it, I'll be like, oh shit, I need to redo my verse. Like, I don't want him to outdo me on this. Like, there is a competition. It's a friendly competition.
Yeah.
And we push each other. Like, we want each other to be the best versions of ourselves.
Say
always,
that.
for sure. So.
Say that. Well, I love it. Well, Cole chimed in. We're going until we can't go anymore. Say that, Cole. And Rare-Hearted for life. I'm right on with that. So, yeah, man. Well, hey, that's like I said when we first started off, y'all. That's one of the things I love about y'all is that you do stuff together as a group. And then you've got your solo stuff together too. And like you just said, man, y'all push each other to do the best you can and inspire each other and encourage each other, and y'all each other's biggest cheerleaders. And that's fucking awesome to have, that kind of bond, man. And I'm just so excited for y'all's future. Looking forward to hearing some of that new stuff y'all got in the vault and the stuff coming out. So that's tomorrow at midnight, right?
Sure. Everywhere.
Okay. So Dean, you got the @RareHearted on YouTube up there.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So, but let's just, if you would, what's y'all's, favorite social media, and just shout it out in case anybody wants to follow.
Hit us up on Instagram. We go live on TikTok too. Everything is just @RareHearted. If you Google Rare-Hearted, like, you'll see everything.
Yep.
And then once you go on Rare-Hearted, like, you can find our individual pages. So yeah, definitely give us all a follow. Like, we appreciate the support for real. This is surreal to me right now. Like, even doing this with you, Glenn, like, thank you so much for having us and thinking about us. Like,
oh, bro.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of nervous at first. I was like, oh, like, this is cool though. Like, it was cool to experience this, and yeah, we'll definitely do another one.
Oh, yeah, you know it, man. We definitely want to have y'all back. So, thank you for the kind words, too. So, once again, y'all, we are coming to you live from Detroit City. Yo, and we are here in the Rare-Hearted Music Studios in Detroit. Thank you so much for tuning in, y'all. Thank you to the guys from Rare-Hearted for joining us today. Shout out again, Jamie Daniels Foundation, man. Had so much fun at y'all's event yesterday. And next week on the podcast, we're calling it Back from the D, because I'll be back in the Dare Me Podcast Studios in Sacramento, California. And during the week, I'll be editing all the footage I took at that event, as well as a lot of footage I took in downtown Detroit with my boy Pete Falk. He was such a cool guy yesterday to me, chauffeuring me around, saying, "Oh, get a shot of this." He was almost like directing some of the videos I got. We had so much fun reconnecting and all. So anyway, that's all coming up on the show next week, y'all. 6 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 o'clock p.m. here on the East Coast, where we're at right now. So with all that said, Dean, thank you so much for all your behind the scenes work again on the show this week. Dean holding it down back in Orlando, Florida at the PX Digital Studios. Yeah, the guys say thank you, Dean. Shout out, Dean. With all that said, thanks again to the guys from Rare-Hearted. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you, man.
Inspire love.
Inspire love.
Say that. We'll see you next time, everyone, on the Dare Me podcast. So long.